I said, well, I'm not doing anything, I'm being this. And she said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I don't know. I've lost my manager, I've lost my agent. And she said, come and teach for me. And there's this woman that I want you to meet. I'm a diehard socialist. I don't want to work with her. You go and meet her. She's just become the Prime Minister, the leader of the Conservative Party. 2 weeks later, I walked into Downing Street.
Wow. What was that first encounter like? And what was Margaret Thatcher's voice like at the time comparatively to how it was after you'd coached her?
Well, she was bold and generous and gregarious. So it was, her voice was always placed far forward. But it had that sort of slightly middle class, patronizing tone that she'd obviously gathered together at Oxford, because that was the sound, that was the lingua franca that was around in Oxbridge at that time. And she was a Lincolnshire lass who was an intelligent person that had socially aspired into that milieu, So obviously she developed this sort of sound, rather like so. And her voice had very little weight. So it didn't really have the gravitas of a leader. And that was my first objective, to give her some weight. And that was fun because we would go into the Commons late at night when the sessions had finished. And she would stand at one end and I would stand at the other. And I would train her to bowl her voice along the floor. And because she was so sensorily open and very sensual within her body, although we always see her as being slightly overly precious, perhaps, and particularly in terms of the way that her image was cultivated, and that rather fast walk where she always slightly leaned forward with her handbag, she was great fun. So we got on well.